world.
been over there?
India?
Yeah.
No.
I did a gig over there, man. It was amazing.
Come on, a gig?
Yeah.
You did a gig in India?
Yeah, it was amazing.
What city?
And I'll tell you, the people there, they're fucking hilarious. They're ball breakers. When I called up this podcast, and they were just talking to me, going like, "Hey, you going to talk about this?" And I was like, I don't know. They go, "You talk about that?" They just kept leading me on these things. You gonna talk about religion or something? And I was like, I don't. I go, "Wait, are you guys talking about this stuff?" And then they started laughing. They were trying to get me in trouble.
What city was this?
Mumbai, which used to be Bombay
Of course,
when we
I
were
know.
kids.
No kidding.
All right, I'm not trying to, okay, I get it. You have a globe.
No. Mumbai.
Mumbai,
Yes,
sorry.
it's the city that was attacked so viciously in 2008.
Yeah.
Remember the attack
By the
there?
Protestants.
No, by the
Palestinians.
Protestants. Exactly. The Amish, I believe, was.
Yeah, at Levelwater. No. Who was it? It was Pakistan. Was it Pakistan?
It was a Muslim attack on Hindu India. I mean, and boy, did they! I mean, they went through that city, that hotel that they attacked. I think they made a movie about it, the hotel in Mumbai or something.
Yeah. Well, when I was there, they had like people with like machine guns and stuff out front. But it was like they were beautiful people, man. There was something about them, like they were all jammed in together, and you think that they'd be like New York,
right?
But they weren't. They, I'm not gonna lie to you. There was people walking around with T-shirts that said "Real men don't rape," and I was like, "What's up with that?" They're like, "That's really not here. That's a little bit north of here." It's just like, all right, every country's got their old school Times Square you don't go to.
That city is one of the greatest income inequality examples in the world, because there's billionaires. There's a house there that is like, I don't know, something like 50 stories high or something, and the guy owns the whole thing. Right. And then there are the slum dogs. I mean, there are people who literally live in that sewage. I mean, what their immune systems must be like over there, just incredible.
Yeah. No, it was a...
I don't think they need the vaccine.
No.
I really
They
don't.
are the vaccine.
I think they're good.
Yeah, no, but it was quite a I would go back in a second. That's how much I enjoyed it. I would go back in a second. It's just, I got 2 kids now, and it's just such a long flight to try to get back there. But I would go back there in a second, and the perspective it gives you, how cool they are, how funny they are, and then all the stuff that they're dealing with. And like just going over to Asia was amazing to travel over there, because they literally have everything that we have, but just different people doing it. Like they have their own rock stars, their own airplanes and stuff. And you stay here and you think, oh, everybody is into what we're doing, and they're over there and they don't give a fuck.
And their own movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Bollywood. I mean, there's a whole entire movie industry over there that is different than ours. So
but the same though, but you like watch it and you're kind of like, oh, this is their Bruce Willis. I get this guy. Right. It's because there are just so many stories to tell.
How did they know you over there? From
podcast.
Really? From podcast?
Yeah, podcast people like they
well, I guess they also get
I have people
Netflix.
I have people
Netflix. Your special is huge on Netflix.
Yeah,
and
Netflix is
fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And then there's people in countries they're not supposed to be listening to it will reach out and tell me that they listen to it. I never say what countries, because I don't know what goes on. The black van pulls up. I don't want to be a part of it.
Right.
But like it's a really like yeah, no, it's great. Like
you know what happened to me that changed my life? I did a gig in India, right? Unbelievably great people, but some of the stuff that I saw there, I'll never forget. I did a gig in India. I saw a toddler take a shit between 2 parked cars, walked away, no pants or parents, and then disappeared into the crowd like Hannibal Lecter at the end of Silence of the Lambs. It's one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen in my life. And then I come back to my country and it's like, oh, the studio said I had to lose 15 pounds to star in a movie. Well, then start running, you fat fuck. That's your big complaint in life?
What are some of the places around the world now that you've been to in the last year?
I've been everywhere from like Helsinki, Finland to Mumbai, India. It was, yeah.
And so an idiot thinks, oh, so all the tourists that are in town in Mumbai,
you know what's funny? It's the joke I forgot to do when I wanted, because they're all fucking telemarketers, half of them over there talking to us.
And it's the joke I forgot to do because it was the last stop on the tour. I wanted to say, I was going to open with that. Like, I probably talked to half of you fuckers already. By the way, I know your name isn't Cliff. But I got to tell you, man, that I had so much fun in India.
How? Describe, please.
Because they're fucking hilarious people. They're ball breakers, and they're just like, I called this podcast, and stand-up is new over there. Like, they're in, like, their Lenny Bruce years. Like, people get in trouble and shit. So I called in this podcast. I was, like, in Australia, and I called this podcast to hype the show, and the guys were all comedians, and they were going like, yeah, when you come here, you should talk about this. You should talk about politics. And, maybe. And they just kept going down that road. Then I'm like, wait a minute, do you guys talk about this shit? And they start laughing. And I go, you guys are going to get me fucking arrested. And they died laughing like they were just setting me up. Like, it's not like you would literally get arrested. But it's like, you could get in trouble. Or like, you'd have to basically, like, Singapore I was worried about because I was like, that kid got caned all those years ago. And I was sitting there worrying about that. And they don't want you to talk about religion. They don't want you to talk about all this shit. But like, if you just come there,
right,
and you just do your spot and then leave, that's not going to happen. But if you set up shop there and every week, they'd have to be getting complaint after complaint after complaint after complaint. And then finally, it's like a jerk-off job. Some guy finally comes down there. It's like, hey, can you knock it off? Can you just stop it so we don't have to beat the shit out of you? And you're like, all right. So it's not as bad.